Good morning. This is Dwight Colby Smith in Richmond, Virginia. I got up at 4:30 this morning. Well, not got up. Woke up at 4:30 this morning. It's now 10 of 7. Been doing some meditating and reflecting. But a very strong message is, do I have the courage? Do you have the courage to stand up to the mythical God as Jesus did? And that's a big order. Okay. I mean, Jesus knew he was defying the heart of Judaism with the God that he found. He knew with absolute certainty in the desert that the God of punishment, the God of judgment, the God of favoritism is not the way the universe works. He saw God in every cell, every organ, every fiber, every being of everything that is. And we've been reading this in letter 5 of Christ's letters. If you'd like information, chapel in the sky at AOL.com. Christ's letters 2000 AD is to me the new thought of the 21st century. It's time for us to really put into practice what we know and have the courage to live it. Now, courage doesn't mean arguing or fighting or demanding or, going out and demanding people listen and all that. I mean, if we're led to do that, fine, but that's not Christ's way. Christ's way is just be the love that we are. I was indoctrinated with John 3:16. For God so loved the world that gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but live ever after. Okay? And the church has used that to tell Christians or tell non-Christians that unless you believe Jesus, you do not live eternally. So I'm going to come back to that with John 3:17, but I see a lot of signs that say Jesus saves, Jesus saves, Jesus saves. And what did Jesus save us from? We've been told that we're saved from eternal damnation. But Jesus, to me, really saves us from a belief in sin. When he said, he without sin cast the first stone, he's saying, everyone has sinned. Who am I? Who are you to say my sin is any greater or lesser than anyone else's? Jesus said it very clearly. Your sin is equal. If you have sinned in any way, killing to having bad thoughts, any of that spectrum, you've committed a sin in man's mind. The way we've been told what is right and what is wrong, and what is good and what is bad, what is just and what is unjust, what is love and what is not. We're told all this, and we've been told to believe it. Now, how did Jesus save us? By telling us that there is no sin. Wow. There's another way he saved us, is that the God of the Jews, which is still the God of the Christians, is still a being of some sort, with all human characteristics of being. This is not the God that Jesus brought forth. If you just read John, in fact, I think if you just read John 13 to 17, a long account of the Last Supper in the Gospel of John. To me, it's very good reading. And oftentimes, Jesus says in there, love one another. Okay, what does that mean? As I have loved you. Now, how much love do we see of Jesus? Is there anyone that he did not love as recorded in the Gospels? And I believe what's recorded in the Gospels is the beingness of Jesus, the beingness that I want to achieve and accomplish. And I believe many in our world want this. I believe there are ministers who want this. But we're afraid, we're controlled by a belief system that's all based on the letter of the word instead of the spirit of it. Before I go to John 3:17, this just came to me. So the Gospel of John begins, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Nothing is created without the Word, and without the Word is not anything created that is created. Again, I was taught that Jesus is the Word, that Jesus is God, Jesus is one with God, and Jesus is the Word. But that's interpretation, isn't it? That's the letter based on Jesus. Now, if the letter is based on consciousness, in the beginning was consciousness, and consciousness was with God, and consciousness was God. And without consciousness is anything created, and nothing is created without consciousness. That's all we have to change. That's all we have to change. Okay, so let me do just a little interpretation of John 3:16. Just give a little more spirituality into it rather than the belief, the mindset that we've been told, this is it. Don't go beyond this because that's bad. That's Satan, that's evil. Do you see how that controls our mindset to go out? God is infinite. God is not just Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or Martin Luther King Jr. or you or me. God is everything. Whew. So let's get out of the book of God and find the God within us. That's what I want. So let's reread John 3:16. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that through him the world may be saved. For God, the source of all that is, the infinite, the ultimate, the one and only truth, with many names. For God so loved. How does God love? How does Jesus tell us and show us that God loves? Love our enemies, love those we're prejudiced against, love those we feel any disconnect with at all. Love everything. For God so loved the world, the planet Earth and everything on it, in it, above it, and within it. And the world represents the universe, because God is all. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. His only begotten Son is consciousness, not Jesus. It's you and it's me. It's us as a collective. Just as, forget about human now for a while. Think of the forest with every tree, each one unique, each one contributing to its environment and each one receiving nourishment and nourishment from its environment in order to survive. So loved the world that gave his only begotten Son. Consciousness. Consciousness is what? Conscious intelligence, conscious love, conscious power, conscious possibilities, conscious desire and self-awareness. Consciousness, the all that is, that which is before the beginning, consciousness. Each cell, each organ, let's start with that. Each organ has a consciousness to perform its function. Consciousness, not chemicals. Chemicals are how they're expressed, but the consciousness is what creates the chemicals to create the reactions to bring life and form and purpose into whatever organ we're talking about. And the organ is made up of many cells, and many different cells. Some cells are muscle, some cells are nerve, some cells are Well, they all have to be nourished, but they're different cells, and yet they're all the same. When we look at each cell, it's the same. It just performs a different function for its overconsciousness. And so overconsciousness guides and directs it to perform all that needs to be performed. How simple is this? When we think of consciousness rather than a God that's a human being magically saying this, or not this, stop this, what a myth. The God of creation, the God of the universe, man has exempted ourselves from. Okay, so God so loved the world, he gave his only consciousness, that whosoever believes on the consciousness, not the form, not the man Jesus, but the Father of Jesus, the Christ of Jesus, the Spirit of Jesus, the God essence of Jesus, that's within you and me. I keep forgetting where I leave off because these little tangents. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes on him, believes on consciousness, shall not perish. We don't have to live in fear. We can be free, totally free. Once we find that consciousness has a better idea than the one I'm thinking. When I go into a place of fear, the first thing I do is take a breath and reconnect with that which is the thinker of me, to ask, how do I respond or not respond? And give me what to say or how to act. We can choose that in every now and moment. The tree cannot choose to be anything but a tree. The tree can't express as anything but a tree. Humans can express as many, many, many things. We've created an infinite, seeming infinite, number of ways for us to express. From Adolf Hitler to Jesus Christ. We're all somewhere on that spectrum. Some are way down in this Hitler place. They believe that there's only one perfection. Christ's way says everything is perfect. There's not one more perfect than another. Even if you don't agree with me, Christ, you are free not to disagree, period. Isn't this beautiful? Is this not the life you want? Would you like the courage to live this life? All you have to do is be it. Recognize as a consciousness, a thought above the thought I'm thinking, an emotion that I can change, an attitude that I am in control and power of. For God so loved the world that gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish. If we're not free, we're already dead until we leave this plane. Okay. Once we stay on a status quo, that's as far as we can go. The only way to go beyond that is to go through that wall. That wall does not exist. That wall is just energy. Energy becomes the wall, but it doesn't separate itself from the other energy on both sides of the wall. Shall not perish, but have everlasting life. We were infinite before we came into this form. We are infinite during this form, and we are infinite when we leave, when this form leaves us, when we leave this form. The infinity of us has never stopped. We are given through Jesus and all the masters who teach that the God is within. All teachings that teach God is within, that's maintaining the infinity of life that we already are. We don't have to try to be spirit. We don't have to try to be good, or we don't have to try to be loving. It's who we already are. We choose not to do that. because we've been given a myth that you're bad and I'm good. I'm right and you're wrong. Doesn't matter what the argument is, as long as we have that degree of separation, where I can't say we disagree on this and that's okay. My way is harmless. My way is freeing. My way is peaceful and loving. My way is full support for all people equally. I would like my thought to free you from any distance you have from me. Because I love you enough, because I know what love is, to accept you just as you are, because this is who you want to be. I know the joy of my way. I know the harmony, the beauty, the essence. The absolute joy of Christ's way. Okay, so maybe when I get to 317, it'll be much shorter. For the infinite is source of all that is, so loved without human conditions, that it begot its consciousness forms, consciousness gave this to the world. The whole of the world is conscious intelligence. That whoso believes, connects, becomes one with this consciousness, is free to live his or her life the way he or she wants to live it. And consciousness supports it. Or we tell the consciousness what to create and how to create it. Well, not how, what to create. Everlasting life. Infinity through infinity to infinity. With just a separation that we develop with our intellect. And our intellect is good. It's a tool for spirit to use, for the thinker of us to use, so we can analyze and discern and judge, righteous judgment. We can be free. John 3:17. For God, the allness that is, did not send his consciousness into the world to condemn the world. Love does not condemn, cannot condemn. It's not in its nature. How can anything exist be said it's not God? And how would God become anything less than itself? We get to use it however we want, from Adolf Hitler to Jesus Christ, or Muhammad or Buddha or Martin Luther King or Gandhi or any of the masters of our world, bringing us into the power of ourself, the true essence that is not here to be walked on, stepped over, and abused in any way, but here to bring forth the truth the Father and I are one. Okay, so, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that through him the world might be saved. Okay. So I think I've said it all. So now, if you're with me with this, I would love for you to send me an email to chapelinthesky@aol.com. My strong desire Father's desire for me, through this world, because I believe it's not only possible, but probable to bring peace on earth by December 31st. When I had 365 days to do that, I was so positive. And now we're getting down to the last quarter of the year. The final 4 months is now August 10th, 2018. So now it's like the time is becoming more critical. But I think before anything is born, there's this energy, this thrust, this motivation, this energizing, this fuel, this propulsion to move. So I am moved to encourage you, for us to work as a community, as the light. Everything happens in consciousness. As we, as a collective, you, me, and all the light of the world, as we maintain our consciousness on only world peace, on harmonious cooperative coexistence among all people, first from and for and of myself, the Christ of me, the God of me, the essence of me, that which knows the consciousness. Consciousness is the creator, not the you and me physical. Our word goes into the consciousness and directs the consciousness what to do. And consciousness just says, I'm yours, baby. I'm here to do whatever you want me to do. And many of us look at our lives, we say, I didn't ask for that. But talk to me about that and see what we can do about it. Because if consciousness creates it, consciousness can uncreate it or create it differently. This is the power. All we have to do is have the courage to be it, to look for it everywhere. Love is everywhere present. I want to share a quick example because this is how powerful the truth is, how it frees us without diminishing another. I was verbally and emotionally attacked by one of my in-laws in Florida this past summer. Told me to get out of the house. My first reaction was, from the truth of me, is, I have no idea what you're talking about. She claimed and demanded that, yes, I knew exactly what she was talking about. Here's the power of consciousness. Normally, we are taught to react, to argue, to fight back, to resist. Consciousness said, I'm not welcome here. I'll just leave. I'm going to hug my son first, but I'm going to leave. And the next morning, as I reflected on it, I had this credo that I wrote back in 1996, I think. It's about my happiness, that you can't take it away from me, and you're not the one that gives it to me. And within this beautiful piece, one-page acclamations of my self-esteem, I have the line that says, I love myself so much that I give you permission to not like me. Doesn't that sound like a Christ statement? I love you so much that I give you permission to not like me. So immediately I said in my mind to this person, you don't have to have an excuse to not like me. You don't need an excuse to do that. You can just not like me. You don't have to have all that anger and that rage. My compassion feels for her. I mean, even now, when you feel all of that rage and anger in there, I know it's not about me. I mean, well, if it is, I'm the catalyst for it, obviously. But she's not going to heal herself by hating me. Wow. Do you see the power of this? I just hold her in love and light and hope that, she can find something. Well, although I really don't, because I don't think she's open to find it. And so, I'm not going to as Jesus says, don't throw your pearls on swine. Don't try to control her and make her what she doesn't want to be. This is who she is in this lifetime. I give her the freedom to experience that. I know there's help for her if she wants it. I'm not saying this about this person, but I would say the same about a person who becomes these mass murderers. If they knew there was someone they could talk to about the way they think, if they wanted to be happy, if they wanted to be free, if they wanted not to hate, if they wanted to be release whatever demon is holding them back from the truth of who they are, it's here for us. Counselors are so valuable in our society, and yet people who use their physical strengths are rewarded so much more in society than those that can really heal and save the world. And our focus is not on saving the world because we believe in separation. If Jesus came to save the world, it would be through bringing harmony, brotherly, sisterly love. And the way he does that is not through, oh, you're a Christian, so I love you. Oh, you're a Muslim and I'm a Muslim, so I love you. Oh, you're a Jew and I'm a Jew, so I love you and I hate everyone else. No, 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 that's not God. That's not what any of the masters brought forth. Even Moses, he did not bring forth 10 commandments. He brought forth one commandment with 10 facets of how to express it. The only commandment there is the one Jesus tells us, love. If I love, I don't kill. If I love, I don't covet. If I love, I don't commit adultery. If I love, I don't. Because with love, I only do. I only experience love. I only give love. I only receive love. Do you have the courage? Oh, this is where I began that brought me into this piece. Do you have the courage to stand up to the traditional church, synagogue, or temple and bring forth the teachings that they teach from a higher perspective? Every master teaches the same thing. Even if it's about respect or equality, it's the same thing. Love one another. If I love you and you love me, we are equal in all ways. Even if we disagree, we are equal. You can disagree with me, you cannot like me, but not have negative energy about it. It just is what it is. No judgment. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but have life everlasting. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that through him the world might, we have choice, might be saved. Saved from a belief in sin, saved from a belief in separation, saved from a belief in victimhood, whether perpetrator or victim. So thank you for this time. I really am grateful that you've given me the opportunity to bring this forth. Jesus shows me the courage I am to have. I was challenged by a program I attended with Catherine Lehman called Natural Mysticism. And she required a contract from each participant. And the contract is a normal contract that one would expect about confidentiality and behavior and on and on. But the one big one was on authenticity. Will you be crucifiably honest? So when I look at that word, when I look at that term, I look at Jesus and say, you know, he knew what would happen to him. I mean, he absolutely knew that he's either going to save the world or he's going to be killed, one or the other. He knew absolutely. His faith was in he was going to save it. When he approached Jerusalem, toward the end of letter 3 of Christ's letters, gives a very strong account of that whole experience. He knew he was coming to his death's door. He didn't run away. He didn't say, no, I'm not going. He said, the only way to go through it is to go through it. The only way to get to the other side is to go through it, not around it, not under it. Because if I don't do it now, it'll happen sooner or later. And he had had enough. It's like, oh, I've done all this, but the people still don't get it. They couldn't. They didn't have the consciousness. They were locked in. As I see Christianity locked in. I'm not making it bad. I'm just saying, it's so, Christianity makes up such a large population of our world. And if we just got Christianity to let down their barrier, that means, wow, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Jews, everyone is saved. Wow. No more separation. Wow. And as the Muslims feel that, the Jews feel that, and the Hindus feel that, and the Buddhists feel that, Buddhists are close to it anyway, from my understanding, they, when we let down all these barriers, religion is the thing that keeps us apart. I mean, look at it. Religion is the thing that keeps us apart. One God, one life, one creator. We all say it. And then we say, but mine's right and yours is wrong. Whew. Way further than I meant to go. So my desire is for you. These are the major symbols of all the world's religions. When we have our major religions, even within Christianity, I'm thinking, Protestant and Catholic, and Christian and Jew, and Muslim and Buddhist, when we bring all of us into honoring and worshiping the one creator of all that is, and recognize that each of us are expressing that creator in accordance with our understanding, we will find peace on earth. We will bring it forth. I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit. I want to make sure it gets in the picture. And you can even pause it there if you want for a while, because it's coexist. Look at each of the symbols. And I don't know if there's a symbol there or not, but that's also a symbol for the no God, for the atheist. But consciousness exists everywhere, whether we know it or not. Whether we think the world is flat or the world is round, the truth is the world is round. Or if you believe it's flat, that's your truth, and that becomes, it's supported. But for those of us who have a greater vision, not a limited vision of a flat world, we trust through what our senses tell us. So, okay, well, thank you so much for being with me this morning. And I really hope, I really trust that we will see peace on earth before December 31st, 2018. This is a year for peace. It's time, it's overdue. We've had 2018 years since Jesus walked this plane, teaching us of the God of love and of sin as the only separator from God. And it's not that God separates itself from us. Consciousness doesn't separate itself from us. We separate ourselves. So go forth into a wonderful life. Have the courage to be peace, tranquility, love, open, accepting, trusting, allowing. Chapel in the Sky at AOL.com. Have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed life. Bye-bye.